Hello friends! Today I decided to take you on a really beautiful hiking tour, and we are going to hike in one of the most beautiful places that I know, called Ciucas Mountains. To give you an idea where these mountains are on the map, Ciucas is part of the Eastern Carpathians, and it's really accessible. If you drive from Bucharest, that's going to be a 3-hour drive roughly. If you drive from Brașov, because part of Ciucas is part of Brașov County, if you drive from Brașov to Ciucas, that's going to be roughly a 2-hour drive. So having said that, I think for any person who likes hiking, Ciucas is honestly one of the best options. You can do a lot of tours in Ciucas, but the one that I decided to do with you today, this virtual tour, goes on a ridge called Zăganu. It's basically a loop. It starts in a small village called Cheia, then it goes on the ridge, and then on the ridge, and then it makes a loop, and then it takes you back to Cheia, and then back to the car. You'll see that I included in this video some drone footage, which I think you will find pretty amazing. I think it's just fantastic. And I also included some pictures that will give you an idea about the beauty of this. In total, this hike takes about 6 hours, 5-6 hours, depending on your pace, but usually it takes 6 hours. I don't think it ever took me, with my guests, less than 6 hours, because there's a lot to see on the way, as you will see in the pictures, and there is no point to be in a hurry unless bad weather is coming, something else happens. Other than that, you have plenty of time. If you start, and we usually start early around, I think around 9 or 10, that's when we get to Cheia, and then in 6 hours we're back at the car. So let's go hiking. So after you leave from the car in Cheia village, you have to follow the red cross. That's your marking, and this marking will take you all the way up to the peak, up to Zăganu and then Grobșoare peak, and then you follow a different marking, and then you go back to Cheia village, but I will tell you later. So you begin with an easy walk through Cheia village, and you pass by Cheia monastery, and very soon, in about 20 minutes, maximum half an hour, you cross the main road, and then you enter the forest. You go through this forest for about 10 minutes, and then you cross a very small river, and after you cross this small river, you start to go uphill. Now, to give you an idea about the difficulty of the tour is, I would say, medium. It's not easy, it's not difficult, it's somewhere in between. Of course, it has some more challenging parts. Challenging means that in some places the terrain is quite rocky, so you need to have really good hiking boots. There is some scree in places, but it's fine. Also, at some point there is a cable that you have to hold on to, but that's not very difficult. So overall, I would say medium is the best way to describe it. And there are parts where it's quite steep, so that's why I call it medium. So you cross the river, and then you start to go uphill, and it's uphill for about 1 hour maximum, 45 minutes to 1 hour. And then it starts to get flat-ish. So it's flat for about 15-20 minutes, and then you start to go uphill again. And you go uphill, you go left, right. It's really beautiful. It's a winding trail through the forest. And from time to time, you get to see on your left, you have a nice view of the ridge. After about 1 hour, you get to a really nice meadow. So that's your first big and important viewpoint. And from that meadow, everything seems to unfold. You basically, you look left, right, you look in front of you. The view is just spectacular, and you will see better from the drone footage. You can take a rest there. We usually stay in that meadow for about 20 minutes. You can have a sandwich, you can relax, you can drink some water, and then you can continue the hike. Next, the hike will go a bit straight, and then it starts to go up, and then it turns right, and then it starts to go uphill, and it's uphill for about 20 minutes. You get to another small viewpoint, then you turn left, and in that area we usually find blueberries and raspberries, so we always stop there and eat. Then you continue through the forest, then you turn left, it starts to go downhill a little bit and then again up. In about 20 minutes, half an hour, depending on your pace, you get to another viewpoint. The last section until you get to the viewpoint is quite steep, but doable. And you get to a really nice viewpoint again from where you can see the beginning of the ridge. The landscape starts to look a bit rocky. So we usually stop there in that place, in that small meadow, and again we eat some snacks and we drink some water or tea or whatever we have, and then we continue. So next you have to go uphill for another about 20 minutes. It's quite steep, so you have to go. I usually go slowly and I take my time. If you look behind you, the landscape is really nice. And then very soon you get to the bottom of the rocks. Those are actually the rocks which are part of the main ridge, and you can see those rocks from the meadow you stopped previously, the first meadow if you remember, the big one. So you will not go up on those rocks, but you will go along those rocks. The road will be a bit windy. It's really beautiful. And you have plenty of photography opportunities. We usually stop there for 10-15 minutes and we try to take as many pictures as we can. Then you continue, it goes uphill again, and you get to a viewpoint where again you can stop, and I suggest you stop there for 10-15 minutes and you see Kea village, which looks really beautiful, and you see a lot of forest, you see the high peaks of Ciucas Mountains. If you look a bit right, the view is just fantastic. And then the hike will be a bit uphill again, and eventually in about half an hour you get on the main ridge. The main ridge is called Grobșoare Zăganu. And actually the name Grobșoare Zăganu comes from these two peaks. One is Grobșoare, which is the highest peak in that area. The highest peak, Grobșoare, is 1883 meters, and the other peak called Zăganu is about 15-16 meters. And you will hike on both of these peaks on this tour. So after you get on the main ridge, you can stop and take in the views because it looks really fantastic. And by the way, when you get there, you will see that there's a lot of wind. In that area, it's usually windy. Actually, I think everywhere you go in Ciucas Mountains is windy for some reason. Every time I went there, was summertime, springtime, autumn, winter, it was always windy for some reason. So you stop on the ridge and then you continue along the ridge, and basically your hike will be up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, and you have plenty of photography opportunities, and I suggest you stop anywhere you want and take pictures left, right, because the view is very open. You have a very wide angle basically. So you continue on the ridge, and then you will see on the left there will be a really nice viewpoint. There is a rock which looks like a needle. You can climb it. It's not dangerous, but of course you have to be careful because that's normal. So you can climb on it, and from there the view is magnificent. Then you continue on the ridge, and you'll get to a section which is rockier, and there is some screen there, and there is a cable which you can hold on to if you think that you cannot go over that section. Although the cable is really safe, so I did it many times without using the cable too, but if you think you need it, you can use it with confidence. So after you pass that cable, you get to a point where you see a big rock which we call the Silver Tower. And we call it the Silver Tower because usually when the sun begins to set, the light that falls on that tower looks very silverish. I don't know how to say this, but you know what I mean. So once you pass the Silver Tower, you continue, and then you get to a section where you have to hold on to some small trees near you, left and right, and then you can climb further and further and further. So this section is a bit difficult, so it requires, I wouldn't say all your strength, but you have to be in a more than decent physical shape. So after you pass this section, in about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you get to Grobșoare Peak. Grobșoare Peak is the highest peak of the day, like I said before, 1883 meters. Once you get on Grobșoare Peak, the view is breathtaking. You can see left, right, in front of you, behind you, it looks just amazing. If you look behind you, you will see that the ridge of the mountain that we just crossed, called Zăganul, looks like, I think the best way to describe it is the back of a dragon. That's how I see it. So once you are on Grobșoare Peak, take your time, 20 minutes, half an hour, you have plenty of time. Eat a sandwich, grab a snack, eat some chocolate, whatever. After Grobșoare Peak, you have to go downhill for about 15 minutes. Again, everywhere you look, there is something to see in the photograph. And then the hike will go downhill. It's only downhill for a while, for about 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And then you get to a signpost where you have to go on where you have to use a different marking. And this time, the marking you have to follow till you get back to Cheia village is the red triangle. So you turn left, you go downhill, and then a bit left again, and you go down, 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 and then at some point you will go right, and in about half an hour, 40 minutes maybe, you get to the forest, and then once you get to that forest, in about 5-10 minutes, you will descend slowly to really big meadow. Once you get to that big meadow, you know that you reached the red mountain hut. The name of the hut obviously comes from the fact that it's red. The rooftop is red, and all the buildings around it are red. That's why we call it the Red Mountain Hut. Once you get there, you got to the main road. So from there, to get back to Cheia village, that's going to be another maybe 45 minutes, 1 hour maximum. The distance from there to Cheia village is about 2.5 kilometers, 3 kilometers if I'm not mistaken. But once you get to that road that I told you about, to the Red Mountain Hut, you can take your time and take some pictures with the ridge you just crossed, because the view from there is amazing. You see the whole ridge, everything that you just did. So you should be proud of yourselves. Once you get to Cheia village, I recommend you go someplace and eat something. And usually after a tour we do two things. We go to a place that I know and it's really nice, and we have ribs for those who like meat. So ribs with a spicy sauce, and we have beer. Of course, if you're driving, you have to drink beer without alcohol, coffee. But we usually go someplace and have something to drink, and we have something to eat. This hike can be done, like I told you, in approximately 6 hours. It's a really good option if you want to do a day hike. So if you like hiking and if you come to Romania, I suggest you do this one. You go on Grobșoare Zăganul Ridge, because it's absolutely amazing. And I guarantee for this hike, and I'm sure you are going to love it. So until next time, keep on hiking, and I hope you enjoyed our virtual tour. Stay safe. Cheers.